All right, Bulls and Bears. It is Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. I hope you're well. As you can see, the markets are in the green slightly, most indexes except for the Russell 2000. Now, in our last report, we talked about the Evergrande situation, the magnitude of it. Could it bring the markets down? And my analysis was, and still is, if they let it bring the markets down, then the markets will come down. So you see, this is a manipulated economy. Everything you can think of is manipulated. So just because a company has billions of debt that it defaults on doesn't mean that it's going to drag the rest of the market down. It could. So if they don't bail it out, if they don't just print up money and inject it into the company or whatever they need to do, maybe they can just buy up all the debt with the money machine. And that's the message I'm trying to get across to most people. I think most of you get it. Um, but there still seems to be a lot of people out there looking for a prediction on exactly what's going to happen. You cannot predict a manipulated market. One thing I can predict is more manipulation. But if enough people on the inside get a short position and get in a position to profit from a downturn or a drop in the markets, then it'll happen. I mean, that's the way it is. And people doubted, when I started saying that several years ago, and now it's come out recently that even the people within the Fed are trading the stocks that the Fed is involved in purchasing, right? So how much more manipulation and insider action do you really need to try to figure out what's going on here? Now let's talk about some more numbers here, and this is the magnitude of the Evergrande situation, the property developer there over in China. And in our previous report, a couple of you mentioned that, this is not as big as Lehman. And I think I mentioned an analysis that talked about it's 20 to 30 times bigger than Lehman. Well, when you just look at the amount of debt and the magnitude of the default, it's about 300 billion for this Chinese property developer. And Lehman was about twice that, 619 billion. Now the 20 to 30 times as big, or the magnitude of this, was tied to the fact that it's a real estate, and real estate can really spread across the economy. Real estate's a big anchor of the economy. So when you have a company that's just got debt and they can just write off debt in bankruptcy versus a company that has thousands of properties, multifamily, industrial properties, there's a difference there. Now, does it have to affect the economy? Really, it doesn't, because they can just pay off the debt. They can just bail out the company. The question here has always been, how long are they going to keep this market, and how long are they going to keep this economy chugging along with just ever increasing amounts of debt? That's the question. Now, let's talk about the Fed officials involved in trading stocks that the bank was actually involved in purchasing. Wall Street Journal article here, recent article. The Fed faces calls to remove officials over trades they made while setting policy. Right, so here's what's going to happen. These officials could get removed, maybe, and they'll probably get nice jobs at some other place. Maybe there'll be a lobby. Maybe they'll join the lobbying firm. And then other people, probably just as bad, will replace these people. Does anyone think that removing a couple officials that are doing this, it's probably more than a couple, but does anyone think that removing these people is actually going to change anything? And does anyone think they'll actually get in trouble? Right? You and I will probably get in bigger trouble and probably have to pay a bigger fine for a speeding ticket versus what these officials will get for trading what probably is in the tens of millions of dollars worth of stocks. Who knows? Could be more. Now, when enough of these people get in position, I say these people, I'm talking about the bankers and insiders. Just go watch the movie The Big Short. When enough people get in position to profit from a downturn, then there'll be a downturn. But what's the broader agenda here? Right? There's people out there that'll tell you that the goal is to never stop inflating, um, never stop increasing the money supply, never stop increasing the debt, to ultimately destroy the dollar and bring in a new digital currency, which would have a whole new level of tracing and control from the money printers, or be in control by the money printers. So do you think they want you transacting in cash or something outside the system where they can't see everything that you're doing? Or do you think they want you completely digital, completely on their platforms so they can look and see everything that you're transacting? And people are just trying to figure out how to play this thing, how to position yourself, how to position themselves. Uh, Me as well. I'm trying to figure this out. I mean, I'm trying to invest where I can to profit or at least try to get a little bit ahead from this inflation. And what I have now is minor stocks, some digital assets, physical assets, silver mainly for physical assets. And a couple people were asking, what exactly am I in? What type of mining stocks? I think I mentioned them here before. Maybe I'll put them over on Twitter for those of you following me on Twitter. I might post them over there. We'll see if we have time. But the bottom line is, I don't think anybody knows except for maybe the insiders, the ones that are actually working for the money printers that are actively trading. So you see how unbalanced this is and how unfair it is that some people know exactly what's going to happen, what the Fed's going to buy, and they're getting in there and buying these assets. Also, the housing market. I've tried to explain to people that housing can keep going higher. Home prices can keep going higher. There's been other channels that have been predicting the top of the bubble, the top of the bubble, the top of the bubble. Now it's the top. Now it's the top. And I've been seeing those videos going back 5-6 years now. It's never the top of the bubble if the money printers decide it's not. For example, in the United States, this is going to sound crazy, but it's true. They could raise or they could increase the median home price to $1 million if they wanted to, not just in LA or some big city, nationwide. They could increase the median home price to $1 million. Here's what they can do. They could, at the click of a mouse, inject, let's say, $100 trillion into an investment company. That investment company turns around and goes out and buys tons of homes. They outbid everyone that's trying to buy a home. Will it get that extreme? I don't think so, and I would bet that it's not going to, because I think that would even be so insane where even the regular people that really don't follow the markets, the regular people would even notice then. So I think they're trying to keep it sort of undercover, maybe on the down low a little bit. And right now, most of the people don't notice. Of course, we notice, the people that follow the markets that know exactly what's going on behind the scenes, we notice. But I don't think they want most people noticing. So I don't think they're going to do something that extreme. But technically, yes, they could. They can create endless amounts of money, inject it into an investment company, click a few buttons. Companies with access to the Fed window, etc., can go out and buy as many properties as they want. And therefore, you could have never ending increases in the home price. Right, again, I'm not predicting that. I'm just letting you know how this thing works and what they could do if they want to. They have complete control. We're at the mercy of their operations, and we just have to continue to position ourselves and understand what's happening to try to maybe not even profit, but just to survive. This downturn is going to be so bad when you look at the inflation, what's going to be happening with the food prices. A lot of people will not survive, and that's why you see so many people saying move out of the city, go buy a farm, have your own animals, have your own chickens and eggs and water supply, water source. And maybe those will be the only people that'll survive. I tend to be not that fearful. Maybe I should be more fearful. Some people say I'm doom and gloom, but I'm not as fearful as some people are that are actually moving out to the country, because if you don't have a job, how are you going to pay the property taxes? You can live way out in the woods, but you're still going to have these expenses that you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to get to the bank. You're going to have internet access to pay your bills, unless you're dealing all in paper, which is very rare. But that's it for today, folks. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you're doing well. Keep stacking, stay prepared, keep preparing. Bye for now, everybody.